Students in online, am I audible to you, students? Those who are saying good evening to all. Now I will continue the session. What is the definition of the class? A class is a collection of data members and methods. When we define a class, there is no memory space is created for data members and methods. But whose memory space will be created when an object is created? Okay. So let us move to the further discussion. I hope that we completed in the last session about what? Data members, right? Types of data members in the class. Types of data members in a class, we have completed it. How many types are there? Two types. One is instance data members, class level data members. Why do you use instance data members? To store specific data whose memory space created every time, available as a part of object. Class level data members are those, come in. Class level data members are those, right, which are going to be used for storing what values? Common values, and whose memory space will be created one time, and they can be accessed in four ways. Two ways you have seen already. We are seeing that other two ways now. Self we are going to see, CLS we are going to see now. Shall we go today? Right. I'll open one more also, students. One more also I'll open it. And syntax for defining a class. We have seen data members. We are entering into the methods in today class. Methods we are entering into today class. So take care, students. Now I am talking about, come in, types of methods in class. Types of methods in a class of Python. Types of methods in a class of Python. That is our today's agenda. So we have to discuss today about types of data members, types of methods, and collectively we will discuss both of them. So types of data members are there, and still some of the parts to discuss. Types of methods also we'll discuss in the class. Now, in a class of Python, you know, students, one thing, in whoops, if I write a function inside the class, we call it as method. If I define a function in functional programming, it is called function. That is a subprogram of main program is called function. If I define a subprogram in functional programming or procedure-oriented principles, we call it as function. If I write a subprogram in whoops, that is inside the class, we call it as what? A method. Syntax is same. Slight syntax difference is going to come. Shall we start up? Right. Let us start discussing about it. In a class of Python, I'm going to write, students. In a class of Python, we can define three types of methods. Three types of methods. They are, what is the first one? Instance method. Second one is called what? Class level method. Important, students. And the third one is static method. So first we need to know about what? Instance method. Very, very important. I'm going to enter into that instance method now. Take care. There is a little confusion will come. Take care in the class. So instance method I'm going to discuss. Okay. Followed by class level method also will go for it. Okay, students. Let me take our yesterday's program once. Take some example. Instance data member 3. Open it and see the discussion now. This is our program in the last class. And one more thing, maybe there I read some data also. Instance data member example 2 now. Just observe it. Here you observe it. What we did? We assigned the values and we just displayed the values. And I hope that I'll open it. Class level instance data member, both of them. You observe it now. What we did here, class level data members are there. Plus, I'm reading the data dynamically. I'm reading the data dynamically. I'm printing the data dynamically here. This is our yesterday's class. If you have already practiced it, today's class is dead easy. If you did not practice and come to the class, you will suffer a lot. You can't understand basically. Now here you see how many objects are created? 2. So for first object, I am reading the data. How I am reading? How many lines of code I wrote? 3 lines. But because I am taking 3 values, 3 input functions, I took it. For second object also, how many I wrote it? 3 more lines I wrote it. That means for 2 objects, how many lines I written overall? 3. 6. 3 plus 3, 6 lines. That means if I have 100 objects are there, how many lines of code I need to write? 100 into what? 3. 300 lines of code I need to write. Is it not waste of time? How many times I have to write it? 3 times you write it. That is called one time only write 3 times. And call those 3 lines with respect to what? Objects. That is nothing but reducing the redundancy of the code by using which concept? Functions. In functions, you remember our advantages. Advantages of functions is to reduce the redundancy of the coding. Today, I don't want to write these 3 lines here, 3 lines here. Today, what I am doing? Go to the place. Now I am using paint here. Now I am using paint. So coming to the point back, here I am going to write it. Carefully follow. Now I am writing S1 dot, S1 dot, S1 created. S1 object is created. How do you create S1 object here? S1 is equal to what? Student of. Student of. S2 is equal to what is this now? Student of. Student of. S2. S is equal to student of. What is happening because of that? S1 object is created. S1 object is created. S2 object also created. This is called S1. This is called S1. S2 object also I am creating. S2 object also I am creating. So this is called S2 object. This is also S2 object. Now here I am going to write it. XEXEX 1, 2, 3 and XEXEX 4, 5, 6. 4, 5, 6. These are the 2 objects. Right now there is no data present inside of it. Now, if you look at that, here there are 6 lines are there. These 6 lines, I don't want to write here. I don't want to write these 6 lines of code. It's my time waste. How many times I have to write it? Irrespective of the number of objects, I want to write the code only one time. And the same code I will reuse like anything. Who will provide that reusability? Functions. So, I am defining. Here carefully observe it. I am writing one function. First time I am writing it. You have to understand it. Once you understand, it will be more easy for you. DEF, what is my function name? Get STUD data. Get STUD data. Now I am writing something here. I'll some space over there. Now I am writing. What I am writing? Carefully follow, guys. These lines are there now. I'll carry these lines. Take care and see that what I am writing now. What I am writing, you please follow it. So I am writing there something like this. So 1 minute. I'll go for reducing this font size. So I'll say something like this. Observe it. And moreover, I'm going to take this S1 I am removing, S1 I am removing, S1 I am removing. Few minutes you wait. Now I need to do what? This is doing what? Getting the student data. I have to get the student data for which object? I have to get the student data for which object? So, if I want to get the data for S1, if I want to get the data for S2, what PVM needs? ID of S1 and S2 require. If we pass S1 ID, if we say put the data, it will put in that address. If you say S2, you want to place the data, you have to pass what? Address of what? S2. So, if you understand, this is an instance method. Wait for 1 minute. What type of method? S1 dot get S1 dot what? Get student data. The moment when you say S1 dot student data, one more time I am writing S2 dot what? Get STU dot student data. The moment when you say S1 dot get student data, do you know when PVM comes to this line, what is my object? PVM will go to which function? This is a function call. It is going to this place. While going, PVM will carry the object ID. What is that object ID? S1. What is that ID? X123 will be carried and put it into this place. As a first positional argument, it will be placed. That variable is called today what? Self. What is that variable called? Self. What is self contains? ID of S1. That's why self is one of the implicit object containing the address of current object. What is my current object? Whose ID will be kept in where? Self. Self is not a keyword. Self is not a keyword. Yesterday I shown you. What is self? It is one of the implicit object containing the address of every object which you are using. Self is one of the implicit object available in Python environment, which contains an address of what? Current object. Current object. What is my current object? So what I will write it here. If you really follow me, this SNO should be placed in that ID or not? ID is placed in where? Self. Where is that address is kept in? So how do you write it? Self dot. If you don't answer, write it. Self dot. I will write a self dot. What self contains? ID of which object? That's all. If you don't answer, I will move forward. That's all. If you answer it, it's okay. Self dot what? S name. Next is called what? Self dot what? Marks. Self dot marks. What is self contains? Current object ID. What is my current object? Whose ID present in where? Come on, flow. What is this line is called? Function call. It will go to where? PVM go to the function call. While going, it will get the current object ID. What is my current object ID? This will be kept in where? Self dot, self dot, self dot. It is nothing but what? What is containing here? SNO is equal to 10. S name is equal to RS. Next, marks is equal to what here? Marks is equal to some 11.11. Are you following? Next, second, PVM comes to next line. S2 dot get data, get student data. PVM goes to which function? While going, which ID will be carried forwarded? S2. S2 address kept in where? Earlier, self contains which ID? Now it is containing. So self contains which object ID? Current object ID. What is my current object? So self is a keyword, implicit object, which contains an address of current object. Self to be used as a first positional parameter. First positional parameter. Is it a first positional parameter or not? Already positional parameters over. Since it is a positional parameter, it can access only inside the method only. We cannot access in other part of the program. Because the formal parameters are used only in the same body only. You cannot access in other part of the program. Did you understand? Now tell me, did you understand the meaning of self? Now, go to my place. I'll go to my program now today. I'll go to the program today. I'll go to the instance method. One word I want to say you. What is the method? How do you recognize it is an instance method, class method, and a static method, some identities I want to say. Right? How do you know that you are a teacher? If you sit opposite to the students and if you started teaching, that is called what? Teacher. If I sit in front of in your area, I am a student. Right or not? Similarly, if a function is taking self as a first positional parameter, it is known as which method? Instance method. Spell out. Can you recognize it as an instance method? How? Any method is taking first one is which parameter? Self. That is known as which method? Self means what? Is it universal or selfish? Selfish means what? To the particular object you want to do the operation. Go for which method? Instance method. So instance methods are always used to perform which operations? Specific operation. Specific operation, specific data present in where? Objects. Yesterday I told you, instance data members are available with what? Object. They are known as what? Object level data members. So on objects, who will perform the operation? Instance methods. Objects contains which data members? Instance data member. Who will perform the operations on instance data members? Instance methods. So instance methods are performing operations on what? Objects. Objects contains which data? Specific data. Specific data, specific operation, who will do? Instance method. Specific data stored in where? Instance data members in the object. Operations on the object performed by what? Instance method. I want to calculate the total marks of you. I want to calculate the total marks of your friend. Another. Some lakhs of students total marks I want to calculate. What is the method I have to use? Instance method. Done. Go to the place. Students in online. Now I'll take this example. Now I am writing. Go to that. I'm going to take it. Carefully follow. Here I am taking. Follow me. Program for demonstrating which methods? Instance methods. Come on here. Instance methods. Instance method example 1.py. Come on, class. What is this? Student. Now I am writing DEF. What is this now? Okay, leave it. I am saying what? Pass. Coming to main program. Come on, S1 is equal to what? Student of. S2 is equal to what again? Student of. How many objects are created? What is the content of S1 and S2? Empty. Already told you empty. How do you print it? S1 dot underscore dict underscore of. Now I want to read the data or not? Read the data. Read instance data to object S1. How do you do it? S1 dot get the STUD data. How the flow is? L1. See, students, already you know this. L1 is equal to 10, 20, 30, 40. Earlier, how you called? L1 dot append. Did you remember? What is the append? Is an instance method. Instance method present in which class object? List class object. That's why we are calling L1 dot append. L1 dot append. Like that. L1 dot this one. Get student data present in where? S1. S1 is an object of which class? PVM goes to which class? Looking for which method? Get student data. Do you have that insight? No, error will come. What is that error? Attribute error. Attribute error. Anything is like this. Attribute error. Object name dot function name or variable name. If it is not there inside of that corresponding class, it is called attribute error. Go to the place. In the place, I take up instance method example 1. Go to the command prompt :KVR Python 6 p.m. Say students, whoops here, classes here. See students. Now I am going to say PY, going to say this. Error. What is that error? Attribute error. Attribute error. Go to the place. Now I will define it. What is this now? DE. Come on. Get student STUD data of self. Come on, what is that? For your clarity purpose, students, I'll print it more. Some small clarity I want to give it. ID of, for your identity purpose, ID of S1, ID of S1 in which program? Main program is equal to comma what? ID of S1. ID of S1. Here I will write inside. What is that? ID of S1. ID of S1 I don't write. Current object in which function? Get to student, get a ID of what I will self, I will write it. Yes, data present where? Self. Don't think that, don't ask me, sir, not calling anything now. Why are you taking self? Self is containing what? So, coming to the point back, are you able to follow me now? So here I'm going to say, follow me carefully. Idea of self. Try to execute this once and you see. Try to execute this and see the address of it. What is happening? ID of S1, same is there in self also now. Good. Coming to the point back. Now I will write the data. How do you read the data? Self dot SNO is equal to int of input of enter student number. Okay. Self dot next is what? Name I will write it. So I'll write this name I am taking. Self dot what now? As name. Next is called self dot what? Marks is equal to float of what? Input of enter student marks. I'm taking 3 values. Self is containing ID of what? S1. Following? Now print the content of it. How do you print the content of it? If you want content of S1 is equal to, how do you print it? Underscore dict. Underscore what? Dict of. Now carefully follow. Try to run this. Once you run, see that, enter the number. Both the places address is same. I say 100, say something like, Rosam here. So Rosam here. Now I am taking marks is 22.22. Am I getting the data or not? Dynamic data. Finally, you see instance data members I am specifying inside of which method? Instance method. Earlier, instance data members I specified inside of where? Through an object I specified in the main program. Today I am specifying the instance data members inside of which method? Instance method. It is known as instance method. Instance method is used for specifying what? Performing specific operation. You can also specify what? Instance data members. See the syntax. DEF instance method name, self, list of formal parameters if any. You can pass even parameters also. Specify instance data member. Log of statements perform the operation. Go back to our example. After that, go for next term. ID of which object I want to take it? S2. S2 in main program S2. And S2 dot get data. S2 address is kept in where? Self. Content of S2 and S2 dot you say. Execute it now. Execute the coding now. See that. Say this data 100 Rosam and like this. Second object you see address is same. Now 200 here. Some name I will write it. Some 44.44 I said. And that is the data coming over there. Am I writing 3 times, 3 lines or many lines? Only 3 lines of code is written. You can call any number of functions. Getting? And one more stuff is, I'm just printing with S1 dot, S1 dot, S1 dot. But I want to print with what? With a different way I want to print. How you print? I'm going to write it. ID of it, you got it. Now, this ID also you understood. I'll keep that as it is. Now, today I want to go forward, displaying the data also. Take our previous example. How I was displayed. First object data, I wrote this many lines of code. Second object data, I wrote this many lines of code. If it is 300 objects, I have to write 300 into how many lines? 3 lines I have to write every time or not? But I don't want. How do I write it? Come on. How do you write it? First object data. I want to get it first object data. How do I get the first object data? S1 dot display STUD data. STUD data. Which method it is? Instance method. Calling the instance method with respect to object. Which data I want to display? S1. So display student data is calling with respect to S1. Go to a student looking for display student data. Do you have display student data here? No. So I need to define or not? Define. DEF. Come on fast. Display STUD data of self. Self is compulsory. You have to remember, students. What is self is containing? S1 ID. S1 is coming. Come on, display. S1 dot display. I will print the data. How I will print the data? You just follow me. I'll carry this. Here I am writing. What is happening? I don't want to write S1 and S1 here. I don't want to write S1 here. I will write what here? If you don't answer, it's bad luck for you. Self dot. Self dot I will write it. Self dot I wrote it here. This is for first object. Second object also I will go for it. What is my second object? See the second object, I am going to get it. Second object. Second object data, what I am writing? Second object data. What should I write it? S2 dot. S2 dot I am going to say. So it is going to print both the objects data here. See, inside the function, I am writing this, execute it. Go to the place, py. This is okay. Instance method 1. Instance method 1. See that now. 100. Go to that. See this now. 200. 200. Now see the data. What I got it? First object data, second object data. You take any other object also. S3 you take it. Any other object you take it. S3 you take it. And S3 data will be printed. Are you following? How I am accessing? Calling. Which one? Instance method. With respect to what? With respect to what name? Object name. Calling the instance method with respect to object name. Calling the instance method with respect to object name. Same to same object name. How do you recognize it as an instance method? By looking into what? Self. Dear students, one important point I am writing. In place of self, I am writing my name. No problem at all. No problem. Why? Because the moment when you call S1 dot student get data, S1 address is stored in where? Here we are. That time self is not present at all. You'll get error. You see the error once. See the error once. Self is not defined. If it is a keyword, why you will get this error? That's why self is not a keyword. So I will write what here? KVR I'll write it. And I will write everywhere else KVR dot. Here I will write KVR dot. See how simple it is. Is it necessary to write the same name as self? No. Any name you can write it. Now see that. Enter the data. Enter the data. See students. And it is printing that. Understand? Is it necessary to write the same name as self? No. You can write any name as a first parameter. But industry says that for the generalized purpose of the software industry, you write what? One general name where everybody will follow. Are you following? So self is recommended to write on the name called self only. In place of self, you can write any other name also, no issue. Did you understand this point? Right. So about self, I hope you understand my point. Got it up? Now, students in online, what is self? Self is one of the implicit object, contains address of current object. Self to be used as a first formal parameter. Next, self to be used in the corresponding method only. We cannot use it into other part of the method, other part of the program. One more way I will show you. See students, one more way. How to call the another way? You follow me carefully. Here I am going to write it, students. After reading this object ID and everything you have seen, S1 dot get data, and you are calling what? S2 dot this data is there now. Immediately I want to print which data? This part is there now. I want to call it here only. I will call it as what? S1 dot what data? Display STUD data. Display STUD data. That only now? Right. I am displaying and I am printing. Here also I will do what? Here also I will do what? S2 dot what? Get data. That also remove. Getting a first student data, second student data, I am passing it. Now, carefully understand. Now see this. Now this is another way I am doing it. Another way I am doing it. Follow me. 2.py. 2.py. Now see carefully. Observe it. I am reading the first data, printing immediately. Go to that 100, 200 like this. Immediately the data printed or not. Second is called 200 and next is that and immediately printed like this. I am reading and I am printing immediately. Okay. Is there any, how I am calling with respect to what name? Object name. Wait. Now I am going to introduce another way of doing this coding. S1 dot display data, I am not going to call here. Tell me. When you say S1 dot get student data, it is going to where? After reading this data, take care students. After reading this data, I will call from this method. I will call another method or not? In our functional programming, one function can call another function. From this function, I want to call this function. How do you call it? Earlier, how you called it? S1 dot. Now, who is the S1 here? Who is the S1 there? Self. Now, I am going to take up. What should I write it? I want to call this. How do you call it? Very good. Self dot what? Yes. That indicates instance method. This is called what? Calling instance method by using self. By using what? Self. So one instance method is calling another instance method. Now try to run this code. Say what here? We don't write this and we don't write this. Only you call the get method. Get method will call what? Display method. 3.py. 3.py. Instance method example 3.py. Instance method example 3.py. 3.py. See the answer now. See the answer now. Get the data. Get the data. Is it printed or not? So what I am saying about instance method? What did you understand about instance method? One more example I will teach you. Doing sum of two numbers. Doing sum of, tell me now. I'm going to introduce. Very easy. Start. Program for adding of two numbers by using classes and objects with which method? Instance method. Easy student. Class sum. I will take 3 functions. List class contains 12 functions or not? My sum class. DEF. What is this? Read values of self colon pass. DEF. Add values of self colon pass. DEF. Display values of what? Self colon what? Pass. Coming to the main program. Coming to the main program. Come on, S1 dot what here? Sum of. What is the content of S1? Empty. Now reading values done by whom? Read values. Which type of method? instance method. How do you call it? S1 dot read values. So read values function called with respect to S1. S1 is an object of sum. It will go to sum class looking for read values and pass you remove. And S1 address is there in a self or not? Come on. Self dot A is equal to some value float of input of enter value of A, value of A. Self dot B, enter value of B, self dot B. Are you following me? Next, I will say after doing that, I'll go for what next? S1 dot, come on, add values. S1, already S1 contains how many values? 2 values. Again you are calling. Total S1 data kept in where? Self. Come on. Self dot C is equal to self dot A plus self dot B. You are adding both of them. Following? Yes. Next, I want to display the data. What is this? S1 dot display values. Display values. Under this, I will write print off. What is this now? Value of A colon dot format of self dot A. Self dot A. Next, I will write it. Value of B. Value of B is equal to self dot B. Self dot B. Next, I am writing here sum is equal to. Sum is equal to. What is this now? C. Are you following? So execute it. Execute it. Sum operation example 1.py. Sum operation example 1.py. Out of that, execute. Done. Enter the value of it. 34. Got it. Following. So here, see that functions I defined it and I got it. What is the self here? Implicit object. Used inside that method only. You cannot use as a part of other place. You cannot use self dot here. Self dot you cannot use it. You will get error because it's a formal parameter to be used in the corresponding method body only. See the error. Values are read, but during line number 21, self is a problem. Line number 21, self is nowhere. So I have to write compulsory what? S1. You have to call self only inside the method, not in other part of it. Are you following? Students in online, did you understand, students? If you follow me, I'll go for documentation. I will show you. Documentation part I will show you. Under oops, I'll talk about this and notes. Class level types of methods in a class I will bring it. So follow me. I'm going to take a oops here and types of methods I want to take up. Here I'm writing types of methods. Easy. Only first part you read out. So read out 3 types. Instance method. Instance methods are those which are used for performing specific operations on objects. In other words, to perform the operations on object data, we always use instance methods. Hence, instance methods are called object level methods. Programmatically, instance methods always takes self as the first positional parameter. D, instance method, self comma, list of formal parameters if any, perform specific operation, specify instance method. Where I specified instance methods? Instance methods I specified. Instance methods, instance data members I accessed it. And what is the operation here? You see, specific operations I performed it. Operations performed on object. Values are printed. Come on. Next, all types of instance methods must be accessed with respect to object name or self. How we are accessing? Object name dot instance method. Object self dot what? Instance method. You have seen already self dot instance method name. Following up. This is about what type of method? What is self? Come on. Self is one of the implicit object which always contains a reference or address of current object. Self is used always as a first positional parameter in instance method. Self to be accessed within corresponding instance method body, but not other part of the program, because it is the first positional parameter. First positional parameter it is. I hope you are understanding this instance method. Followed up? Good. Coming to the next level, I'm going to introduce one more thing. Coming to this next level, we see this. Class level methods I'm going to say. Actually, class level methods, not necessary, but I want to tell you. What are these two are called? Class level data members. Today I want to go for class level methods I want to introduce. Go to the program now. Class level data members are for which purpose? Common for all the objects of same class. So class level methods are used for what? Common operations. Instance data members, specific. Instance methods, specific operation. Specific data storage is done by instance data members. Specific operations done by instance method. Common values are called what? Class level data members. Common operations for all the objects of same class is called common methods. That is called class level methods. Program for demonstrating which level data members? Class level methods. Class level methods. Easy. Class employee. Class employee. What I am taking? Employee C name. Company name is called IBM. Next is called ADDR. Company address is called Hyderabad. These two are common for all the employees or not? Today, this is one way. Already we understand. Today, I want to do through methods. Through methods, I want to specify. What is it? Tell me. DEF. Get COMP name, company name. Some company name, COMPANY, company name. You can write like that also, and you may be feeling some difficulty. Why different color? And if you regularly practice, no problem. And since you don't touch the laptop, that's why I'm saying that. Get the company name. If I write KVR here, what is that method? What is that method and self? నేను ఏం అడుగుతున్నా మీరేం చెప్తున్నారు అసలు what you are అసలు what method it is? What method it is? Instance method. By looking at that, which method? Instance method. In place of self, I can write my own name. I told already now. By looking at it, which method? But I want to make that method as what? That's why I want to provide some additional processing capability. There is a decorator is available. Which method is available? @ class method, which will provide additional processing capability to that. It is a predefined decorator. Already decorator is discussed. @ square root and everything. Here, technically, they are supposed to take the CLS. Like our self, they are saying to you what? CLS. In place of CLS, you can write your own name also, no problem. But by looking at which one you are understanding, it is a class level method. By looking at which method you are thinking, it is a class level method. By looking at the decorator. By looking at only this parameter, it is not going to be what? Class level method. By looking at this decorator only, you are thinking it is which method? Class method. So I will write originally, it will be taken as what? CLS. All the class level methods must be called with respect to class name. Class level data members called with respect to what? Class name, originally. I told next what? Object name also is said. But originally you have to call with respect to what name? Class name. See that? I am writing inside. Data members I am specifying. How you can specify? CLS will contain the name of the class. Self contains object address. CLS contains what? Class name. How you write generally? Employee dot C name is equal to what? IBM. Employee dot ADDR is equal to what? H by D. What these two things are called? Here, CNAME and what next? ADDR are called what? Class level data members. Class level data members. Are you able to follow? Class level data members. Are you getting my point? Now, follow me. I want to take one instance method also. DEF get EMP details of what? Self. Self dot what? ENO is equal to int of input of enter. What is this now? Enter employee number. Enter employee number. Self dot what next? E-name. Input of employee name. Enter input of employee name. I am taking like this. Enough. Two details are enough. DEF display. Which details? Employee details of what? Cell. I want to print the data. How do you print? Employee number. How do you write it? Format of self dot ENO. Next, I want to print it as what? Employee name. Because once this oops topic is over now, a lot of people will be out of order. Why? Not practicing, coming to the class, self, CLS, they will lose their self. If you practice well and if you come to the class, it will be superpower. Now done. What methods these are? What method it is? Instance method. What method it is? Instance method. What method this is? Class level method. Class level method. Take care. Coming to the main program. What should I do now? E1 is equal to what? Employee. What is the content of E1? Empty. Empty. Now I have to read which function? Get employee details. E1 dot get employee details. What is happening? E1 content is placed in where? Self. Reading the data. I want to display the data also. E1 dot what? Display EMP details. EMP details. Get display EMP details. Got it. But what about this employee name and address also I want to print? But they are the part of which method? So to get this data members, I have to call this method or not? This method is which type? Class level method. Class level methods must be called with respect to class name. How do you call it? First you worry about it. Here I will write it. Along with this, I am printing. What is this now? Employee company name. Some different version. Comma. What is that? Which one? Employee.c name. Employee.c name. You know, yesterday only this part. Next is called what? Employee company address and employee company address. I'll show you. You'll get line number 14 and 15 error will come. Why error is coming? Because I did not call this function. When I did not call this function, how can you get the data? Right? Execute class level method, class level method example1.py. Class level method example1.py. Go to the place, save this code, come out of that py, class level method example1.py. 1000. So Richie, and see the data. Type of object employee has no attribute called what? CNAME. That means CNAME is not there at all. You did not. So I need to call this method or not? How do you call this method? Before creating the object, you call that dot. What type of method it is? Class level. So you have to call with respect to what? Class name. First approach. Calling which level method? Class level method with respect to what name? Class name. That is the number one. That is the first syntax. Observe it now. Execute. Now perfect answer will come. Enter the number. So 100, Richie, see that, is it getting the data or not? This is one way of calling. Online students, are you comfortable, students? Or bouncing? So, are you okay? Are you following this? Now, one more way I am going to show you. One more way. Take this same example. See that. Careful. If you practice now, whoops is very simple. You are calling this with respect to this. You call the same function by using what object name you can call. What is that? Say what? Even. Even also you can say. I will write it. Calling what? Calling what? Class level method with respect to what name? Object name. Object name. Calling class level method with respect to object name. Even dot calling. This one, sorry. This line. You can call with respect to object name also, because every class level data method is called a common for all the objects, because it supply the common value for all the objects. Are you okay, students? Now, if you want, you can print also. One more object you say. I'll write it here. I'll write it here. Here I wrote it. You create one more object also. You create one more object also. E2. That time I need not to call E2. E2 you say. And E2 you say. With respect to E1 only I called, but I did not call with respect to U2. That means this method is supplying the value for E1 and E2. One time if I call, the same value will be supplied for everybody. Check that now. Check that now. 2.py. 2.py. Done. Go to the place. Save this example. Out of that, execute it. Py. See, students. Employee number. See that. Got it. 200. Next is called what, you know. So Rajesh, I'm saying that getting. Are you following? How I am calling here with respect to what? Object name. I am calling after creating that object. Getting. Previous program is by using what? Previous program by using what name? Right. Second one. Second one I am going to introduce. Be careful. See, students. What I am doing now. And these many ways if I say, you'll be good in that. Don't write this. Don't write. Go to where? When you are displaying, you call what? You call which method? How do you call it? Two ways. Already told you. In the display time only I need this. Call this function. How can you call this function? With respect to class name, you can write it. What is my class name? Employee. How do you call it? Employee dot like this. It is equal to what? It is equal to calling with respect to what name? Class name. See that? Class name. Execute it. These many ways. There is a chance of getting confusion also when you don't practice. If you practice well, it's just like drinking like pineapple juice. So, done like this. 3.p1. Go to the place, calling with respect to. One more way. Already you know class name dot, object name dot. Today, I am going to write it what? Object name. What is an object? E1, E2 friend. Self dot. Calling with respect to what? Self dot. Static instance methods can be called with respect to self, but class level method also can be called with respect to self. See that? 4.py. 4.py. See that? Execute. See the data. Enter this. See these values. Getting. Following? There is one more rule is also there. Sir, all these rules for deep subject. What is the first rule? Call with respect to class name. That is over. That is international rule. But with respect to object, you can call. With respect to self also, you can call. But one more is also there. With respect to CLS, you can call, but you cannot write CLS because CLS is one of the formal parameter or not. That has to be used only inside only, but cannot be. Now that's why for more knowledge purpose, I am writing here. For more knowledge purpose, you can write one more way. See students, you can write here called what? CLS. I did not show you here. CLS. Yesterday's class, types of data member, class level data member. You can call CLS dot class level data member name also that I am writing. Another part is there, na? Another part. Here C name. Here C name is C name is called what? Class level data member. What I am doing is I will write one more class method at the rate. What is this now? Get ADDR. Get ADDR of what? CLS. You can write what? CLS, you can write it. CLS dot ADDR. Here, what is this? What is this now? ADDR is also called what? Class level data member. Come on. Self dot get a company name. Where it is going? Get a company name. From that company name, I want to call which method? Get ADDR. How do you call it? Suppose if I don't call it, what is happening? Only C name can be accessible. What is not possible to access? Address cannot be accessible. Try to execute. Try to execute. I hope it is done. Okay. It is done. Saved up. Okay. It is copied and done. And I wrote how many class level methods? 2 class methods I wrote it. 1 minute more. 1 minute. Okay. ADDR. Here I should not. This is called what? DF. I should write it. What should I say now? At the rate. Which method? Class method. CLS dot ADDR HYD. And this is done. And here you see E1 dot E2, etc. And you see the error. ADDR error will come. Class level example 3 dot 4 dot I am going to show you. Execute it. 4 dot py. 4 dot py. See that? 100. Richie. Error. What is this now? ADDR. Company name I got it. IBM. But what is coming? Address is a problem. I have to call address also now. How do you can call generally? Self dot get address you can call. But when you call get name, it is going to get name. From the get name, I will call which method? Get ADDR. That means one class method is calling what? Another class level method. How do you call it? CLS dot. What is the function name? Yes. You can call here. Why? CLS is the first formal parameter. I can call with respect to class name. So, calling class level method with respect to what? CLS. Earlier calling with respect to what? Earlier calling with respect to class name. Calling with respect to object. Totally how many ways? 4 ways. If you are remembering, you are a great student. Otherwise, we can't say. So, coming to the point of it, see the data, got it. Following. So, class level method purpose is what? To provide the common values for all objects. Go to that. Types of methods. Read out. Start everybody. Did you understand, students, what is explained in this code? Very good. Come on. Class level methods are used for performing common operations for the objects of corresponding class and to specify class level data members. To define class level method, we must use a predefined decorator called @class method. The syntax for defining class level method is @class method def class level method CLS. It can take even parameters also. Specify the class level data members. Perform common operation for all objects of corresponding objects. Every class level method must be access to class name, CLS, object name, self. Object name, self. Class name dot class level method, CLS dot class level method, object name dot class level method, self dot class level method. Actually, if I tell these many ways, say, sorry, you have to tell many ways you have to say. One problem ఎప్పుడు కూడా ఒకటే ఉంటది. Problem ఇలా only one. If you are a scientist, you will show multiple routes for it. And you are a great. If you say only one route, that one route is danger route. Other route is required or not? That's why let us understand multiple ways. Suppose if you know only one way, tomorrow if you go to an interview is asking multiple ways. That time you will say, no, my sir did not tell multiple ways. If I say, I feel satisfied. Whether you remembered or not, it is your headache. If you remember, you are an expert. Otherwise, out of order. If I tell only one way, that one way, if you don't remember, it's not good for me. That's why I will teach everything perfectly. If I don't remember, I can't do anything else. Right. Come on, what is CLS? Come on, start. CLS is one of the implicit object. Contains current class name. Self is what? Current class address or what? Memory ID. Reference is present. Here what is present? A class name will present. CLS always to be used as what? First formal parameter in the class level method. In the class level method, first parameter. Next, since CLS is a formal parameter, so that we can access inside the corresponding class level method definition only, but not possible to access in other part of the program. That is called what? CLS. Easy? Right. Compulsory question in interviews. What is the difference between CLS and self? I hope you understood. Self is a keyword. CLS is a keyword. Can I write another name in place of CLS and self? Happily you can write it. But how can you recognize it as an instance method or class level method? I can understand instance method or class level method based on first class level method. At the rate class method decorator is important. When you come to instance method, there is no at the rate class method and only what is there? Self. After explaining static method, you will get complete clarity. Shall I move forward? Now, I will go for the static method now. Static method. Shall we start? Look at static method. I will take it. All of you. Program for demonstrating static method. Do you feel that it is faster? Nothing. Nothing. Now, program for demonstrating. Which method? Static method. If you are sitting in my back side of the bike, I'll go only 30-40 kilometers. Only 30 I will go. In 30 I will go. I'll get some jealous about the people who are going 90, 120 because they are perfect in riding the bike. But in programming, I'll go 220 speed. They'll fear backside person who is sitting in front of backside of me. They'll fear. If I go 120 speed, 220 speed, backside person his eyes are squeezing. Is getting what? Kallu dirutai. So why? That speed to hold it is a stamina to riding capacity is required. Why I will go 30 speed only? Because I don't know bike properly. I fall down so many times, even it hit my hand also so many times. So in Hyderabad, anybody fall down, they will not come and help also. That very slowly you need to go. Why slowly need to go? Because backside person don't know, opposite person don't know. These days people are driving by talking in the phone. And these days everybody is wearing some gold chains they are wearing. Chains in the sense, you understand, I hope so. Bluetooth. Whenever the phone is coming, lifting and talking. Who is coming front and who is going back and all those things, they are not worrying about it. So, if I become a CM or PM, first thing I will ban the company who is supplying that Bluetooth. I'm seeing my students also. They are coming with Bluetooth by wearing the chain. Last student also. Now, of course, he removed it. But beginning, he came like that only. Because on white t-shirt, he came like black Bluetooth. He removed later. By seeing Whoops programming, he removed it. So, you enjoy the technology, but don't enjoy it too much. It will become problem for you. Enjoy the programming nicely. So anyhow, students, you are good in bike riding. I am good in programming. Bike riding, no. Can you win in the bike race? Will you participate? No. But if you know programming well, you will get the job now. 50,000, 60,000, 1 lakh salary will come. And you can keep one driver also. You can sit in the backside happily. You can buy car also. What is there? So, right, students. So, what is that, ma'am? Narshima? Sir, always wear the helmet. Yeah, compulsory I will wear the helmet. Even I have one more helmet also additionally. Why anybody sitting backside, I'll give helmet also. By 30 speed, nothing will happen. Safe side. Any more students come to that? Time is not there. Start up. Okay. Class student. DEF. Get STUD data of what? Self. Self.SNO is equal to I'll get this because I want to do quickly. Okay. Next, I will write one more type of class. Class what? Employee. DEF. Get which data? Employee data of what? Self. I'll get employee data also. Employee number and employee name. Got it. Next, I will write it. Take care. Class teacher. I'll get it what? DEF. Indentation. DEF. Get what details? Teacher details. Of what? Self. Now I am writing. Enter teacher number. Teacher ID. Teacher name. Enter what? Teacher name is called what? T name. Now, 10 days back when I am going on the road, Himayat Nagar route, when I am going, one person is coming backside of me. He is asking me, are you a learner? He asked me. Because in my bike also, my missus scooty it is, I will come on that only. L board is I kept, L board. I know driving. Why I kept L board? Not for me. For other person, they will come carefully. He is a learner, let him go slowly like. So he asked me, is very much speed, giving very big racing. Accelerator is giving. And the way he is wearing the helmet is a sports vehicle is. How he is going, by seeing that, I am getting jealous about his driving, going like a snake. And myself is felt very much, I got shivering, that much speed is going. He made his vehicle slow. Maybe I disturbed him. His speed, I reduced it because I am going slowly. He was backside of me. He asked me by stopping, are you a learner? I looked at it. You don't have time. He went, he said that word and he went off. So, you don't know I'm a programmer. I want to tell him that I'm a programmer, but he went off. So, we cannot argue with those guys because I appreciate him. I want to appreciate him. You're a good driver, I say. But I don't want to say about myself, about a good driving or not. So, let it be, students. Yes, ma'am. Yeah. Sangeeta, correct, ma'am. So, let us coming to that. We cannot tell to outsider about our good qualities. If we say good qualities, except to my students, they'll feel jealous. Outside, we should be so innocent. Inside the class, should be powerful. You also same. Outside, you should be innocent. When you go to the company, you are a hero. You are a diamond. Like that, you have to prove by yourself. Outside, innocent. They should say that he is a very good guy. Like Ramudu is a manchu baludu lagunda. But when you go to the coding, you have to show your dynamism. That's my advice. So coming to the point of it, line number 14, what is there, ma? Get get teacher details. What is the problem, Naresh? Teacher name, 14th line, TACHR, get TACHDR details. Right? Okay. Next is called what? Self dot. What is the 14th line? I don't understand, Naresh. What is this now? Subject. Subject. What is this now? Teacher subject. Subject. You need to say subject. Next, I will write a self dot what? Experience. Experience. So EXP, experience. So experience is equal to what? Enter. Enter teacher experience. Teacher experience. Teacher experience. Done. Okay. Now, last year, I went to one engineering college. To join. I know what is the total story of that because I don't want to, because even I am from campus, university campus, Usmania University. Because we don't want to describe us by ourselves. When I went there and our relative want to join there only, I did not say any objection because any college is same. To remove our teeth, any stone is also okay. తెలుసు కదా మీకు పళ్ళు ఊడగొట్టుకోవడానికి ఏ రాయి అయినా ఒకటే. So done. After going there, one person is saying, HOD it seems, I have 35 years of experience in computer science, he is saying. Okay, very good. Good. I said like that. Then immediately, okay. It did not ask us to sit also. It really, because we are looking for admission now, that's why. Then later, because we also felt something innocent. By looking at us, I don't know what he thought of. Slowly I said, sir, which subject you teach? He's saying, I teach every subject. Java, he's saying, yes. Python, yes. Data science, yes. Then slowly we put some queries. And he said, after 1 minute, sit down, sit down, sit down, he said. We asked more questions. Nothing answered. Then finally, he asked us what you are. And we did not say anything. And we want admission, that's all. And with that, of course, he decided to take there only. But we are having, because people will think in different way when we go to other place. So you have to possess by yourself with good subject. So why I am saying all these things is when you go to other place, companies or any place, you have to good in your subject area. So that experience means what? Not just sitting in the chair. Experience will come by working on that area, by teaching that subject many years. That is called experience. Correct or not? Only sitting in the chair, taking a cup of tea for every half an hour, that is not the experience. Let it be. Coming to the point. Now I am going to say main program. Main program I am going to take. How many objects I'll create? How many objects I'll create? 3 objects I will create. Static method I am introducing today. Create S is equal to what here? Student of. Next is called what? E is equal to what is this? Employee of. T is equal to what here? Teacher of. Teacher of. What will be the object contents now? Empty. 3 empties. Read the data. S dot what? Read. Get. Yes. Get what? Get STUD details. Data. Okay, data. E dot. EMP data. T dot. Get teacher data. Details. Okay, details. Fine, students. Now I will give you some gap between all of them. Some gap, some line of to look nice. Take care, students. Now I want to take up. Now done. And finally, after reading the details, each object will contain the data or not. I want to print it. I want to display. To display, what should I do it? Generally, according to your knowledge so far, yes dot display which data? Student data. T dot E data E dot display EMP data T dot display teacher data, teacher details. Again, I have to define three separate methods or not? So three separate methods I need to define. Okay, you can define it, no issue. But the point I want to tell you today is, how many objects are there? Three. I don't want to define three methods. I want to define one method. That one method will display the data of any object. It will display teacher data, student data, employee data, book data, any object data it can display. And one method is working on any objects. Instance methods works on only same class object. Class level methods works on same class object. But this method is working on all the objects of all the classes. That is called universal helper. Class level method will help only to that objects of same class. Instance methods will do what? Will work on only that object. In simple word, a student operations are instance operation. A teacher in the class is called only for that students helping of same class objects. There is one person, Rosam, he is working on KVR objects, XYZ objects, PQR objects. Rosam is called what method? Universal method. Utility operations it can perform. Universal operations can perform. That methods are called static methods. Which methods? So, I am defining class HYD, one separate class and at the rate, what is that? For example, you see DER, display OBJ data, take some question mark there. Don't worry about it. If I write here, if I write KVR, by looking at this, what people can think? Instance method. Very good. Now I am writing today at the rate class method. What they think? Today I am writing which method? Static method. Spell out. Static method. What is the meaning of static method here? This method is not taking self, not taking CLS. It will take some OBJ. That OBJ contains what? Other objects data. Right now, don't worry. I will not write anything. I will give some space. Now, come on. All the static methods in the class must be called with respect to the class name. What is the corresponding class name? HYD dot. What is my function name? Display object data. What I will pass it? Yes. What is yes? Object of which one? Student. This is a positional parameter or not? I will hold what? One variable you take it. OBJ. What is OBJ contains? Yes data copied in where? OBJ. Similarly, I will go for one more time. What I will pass it? E. What I will pass it? T. So see, calling which method? Static method with respect to what name? Class name. By passing any class object. By passing any, see, student, teacher, employee is not object of HYD class. It is taking objects of some other classes. OBJ. OBJ contains which data now? Yes data, E data, T data. Can I print it? How do I print that? OBJ data underscore what? Dict underscore. Are you getting? So earlier we used to write S dot dict underscore. E dot underscore dict. T dot underscore. But S data present in where? E data present in where? Like that. Just execute it. Execute it and see. Say here static method. Static method example 1.py. Static method example 1.py. See that? Execute this now. Py. See students, see that enter the student number 100. See something like Vivek. Vivek marks is called some 55.55. Enter the employee number 200, 2000. So row sum here and the teacher ID is called some 300. Same some name is called Travis and the subject is called NumPy and experience is called 23. See students, number of the student, employee number and teacher number. Are you following? How do you display the data in a normal style? How to display? We got it. Now I want to say, tell me now, print off some data I'm taking. How do you print the data? Come on, here. If you really follow me, here I will write it. Come on, for key comma value in obj dot score underscore dict underscore dot items of print of what? Backslash T, say here, dot format of what? K comma V, K comma V. I'm writing there like this. See students, how simple it is. Execute it. See the point back. So here, some name. So something is missing. No issue. Coming to this, something is missing. Enter. Right. Now see that. Getting. Are you getting or not? If you want to print student information, I can print that also. For a minute you see. I'm going to get it. Here, I'll pass parameter. What is this? Comma. What is this now? Student. What is this now? Employee. What is this now? Teacher. Well. This is the two things are coming. OBJ comma what? And something like what? Some information I'm writing. Something like yes, sir. What is that yes, sir? Some formal parameter. Something like OBJ info you are passing. You are saying now, you see, I am writing information about what? Say dot format of what? OBJ info. What a beautiful coding. Go to the place, save it to .py, passing the parameter, execute it, see students. Execute it, py, see that, enter, number, name, IDs, everything done. Read out. Information about student, information about employee, information about teacher. How I am calling? With respect to what name? Class name. By passing the object, calling with respect to calling like this. Are you able to follow me? Easy or difficult? Easy. You can call with respect to what? Static method can be called with respect to. Tell me, static methods are used for which purpose? Universal operation can be performed. On all objects, it can do the operation. That's why it is named as what? Universal operation. Any object data it can perform. Come on. HYD. Create what? H is equal to what? HYD of. Come on, how do you call it? H dot. But creating an object is not necessary. It's a waste of time. Calling with respect to what name? Which name? Object name. Calling with respect to object name. Done. Save this. Static method. Done. Done. Huh? 3 hours. Okay. 3.py. 3.py. Execute it. See that. Py. 3.py. See students, you understand this point, Vivek. So like this I am entering students. Got it? Same data. Are you getting or not? How can I call the static method with respect to what? Quickly. With respect to object name, class name also. One more way. Will you remember or getting confused? Remembering. Okay. Take care. Now I'm going to enter into this way. Follow me. I'm going to take up. Let it be. Let it be. Object dot. Object dot. What I am doing is, let it be, it is a static method. I am taking one small thing, students. At the rate, what method I am taking? Class method. What is this now? Def get information. Get information of what? Obj comma obj info of pass you same. What is this method? How do you call the class method? How do you call the class level method? With respect to object name you can call. With respect to class name you can call. Okay. What are you writing now? CLS. And I am calling object name. Today I will write what? Object class name I will write it. No need to create. Here I will write what? Which method I am calling now? Get the information method I will call. Today I am going to call what? Get the information. Which information? Any object information you can pass it. Calling which method? Class level method. 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 With respect to which name? Class name. Girls, are you following, ma? Class name. What is this name? Class name. With respect to class name, you are passing. Okay. This will come to this place. And from here, I will call it which method? Which method I will call? Which method I am calling from class level method? Static method. How do you call it? How do you call it? CLS dot. Actually, class level method called with respect to class name. Class name, class name. Class name is containing in where? CLS. CLS dot of what are you passing? Same parameters you pass it there also. This data coming from which program? Main program. Same thing you are passing to what? Calling. Which method? Static method. From which method? Class level method. Class level method with respect to CLS. CLS. See, execute 4.py. 4.py. Save this code. I know it is bouncing for you. So done. It is bouncing. Bouncing up. If it is understanding, really great. See the data which is coming here. So if you have very good hair, one day one cutting, another day another cutting, any cutting, no hair, ring road, bypass road, IPL ground only. Done. So, are you following me? Which method is calling which method? A class level method is calling which method? Static method. You can call the same thing by using what? Last and final. We can call it. Come on, you can call with respect to what name? Class name. What is the class name? HYD. HYD. Get it? Yes. Execute it. 5.py. That's why I'm giving separate example, different ways. Class name. 5 dot. Execute py 5 dot. See that. See that. Say here. See students, done. See here, done. Okay, something went wrong. So I'm using upper arrow keys. Done. Marks, number, name, done. Subject, experience. Getting or not? Yes. This is called which one? Class method is calling what method? Static method. You can call with respect to what also? Object also. Any object you already called it. Already object you called it. Here. Already I said with respect to object. H dot. Now last and final. By seeing all these things, don't get any tension. If you practice it, nothing is difficult for you. Say here, paste it. Call it only, but I am not writing today what? I am not writing today what? @ class method. What is it? Instance method. What I am writing now? Self dot. OBJ info, formal parameters. Not an issue. Come on. H is equal to what? H by D of. Compulsory how to call with respect to what? Object name. Why it is an instance method now? H dot. Here I will write H dot. Get information. OBJ. H data present in where? Self. SUET present in where? OBJ. Student employee present in where? OBJ info. What method it is? Instance method. What I will write it? Self dot I can happily call. Calling the static method from class from which method? Instance method. Instance method with respect to what? Self. Are you losing yourself? Are you okay? Are you losing yourself? No. So self you should not lost. So coming to that, gaining ourselves. Okay, Vivek, good. Gaining yourself. Nice word. So 6.py. See students, enter the data. See that carefully. Follow. Now see students. Now entering. Done. How many ways? So many ways I said. If you close your eyes, you can't even forget also. Unless until you practice, you should not sleep. That is my things. So come to the point of it. Types of methods. Start. What method? Static methods. Come on. Static methods are used for performing universal operation or utility operation. Static methods definition must be preceded with a predefined decorator called @ static method, and it never takes less. Always takes object of other classes. Student object, teacher object, employee object. Syntax of standard @ static method. D of static method name. List of formal parameters. One S object, E object, formal parameter. Utility operations. Static methods can be accessed with respect to class name, object name, CLS, cell. If I want to escape, I can tell only one thing and it's over. But I want to tell you everything because I want to tell by myself that I want to show more topics. So tomorrow if you go to an interview, if you say these many ways, definitely they will appreciate you. Are you following now? So these are called types of what? Methods. And these many examples, level by example, level by rules also given. Okay now? So if I go to my syntax of a class, please read out. What is the syntax? Class name, class level data members, instance method here, @ class level method, @ static method. 3 days onwards, it is going on this area only. And to tell one class concept in detail, see how much time is taking. What is the definition of class? A class is a collection of data members, methods. How many data members? 2. Instance, class level. Methods, 3. Class level, instance, static. After that, still class concept not over. Inside the class, we'll write constructor also. That is my tomorrow's concept. constructor and destructor concept also will be there. Inside the class, constructor will come plus destructor will come. That is my tomorrow's explanation. Constructor half of the time, destructor half of the time, or constructor totally and destructor is separate example. Tomorrow class, what is the topic name? Constructors I will explain. Don't miss the class tomorrow, which is very, very important. Don't miss it. I'll upload the notes. Take care and follow it carefully. Thank you, students. Any doubts are there, ma? Be in the online. I'll talk to you. Take care. All the best. Students in the online.